Hi, Shotaro. Hi, everyone. So thanks for joining us on our travels across the practice world, let's say, on our boat. Um, and so first, as the captain of this ship, as you can see behind me, tell us something about where you are right now.
Mm. Hi, thank you for having me. Um, I am in Tokyo right now, um,
Mm,
where a lot of people are, and I can see a lot of tall buildings. I can see Tokyo Tower from here.
mm,
Um, and I'm in tall building as well. So if you look down, there's a lot of people in suits
mm,
walking across the streets. So it makes me feel about how people works around here. Yeah,
mm.
I'm in the middle of center of the Tokyo.
Oh, wow. Must be crazy. And so, what do you do?
Um, I work in the intersection of academic, yeah, and practitioner. I'm a project manager myself, and I'm also studying project management from a sociological perspective
Mm.
in University of Tokyo. I'm a PhD candidate, and that's how I'm very interested in practice theory.
Okay, interesting. So up to you, Sonia.
Okay, so hi,
Hi.
I'm Sonja. I'm the pirate who has
Hmm.
taken over the boat with my red Ricola straight from Switzerland. We've traveled down the Rhine. So our question is, where did you first encounter practice theory?
Uh, um, I quite don't remember because, but um, I used to love activity theory, which is cultural historical activity theory chat, because that really illustrated how I thought about project that back then. It was more evolving practice. And it was later in the year that I picked up David Nicolini's books, Practice Theory, and got to know a lot more theories on practice theory. And it was very fascinating because I was also researching knowledge management. Um, yeah, as a background, my company is a bunch of project manager. We're 25 people. It's called Copilot, and it's not a Microsoft Copilot. We had a name first,
Mm,
and we've been here in the industry for 20 years in Japan. But we are also very keen on research, and we were back then researching on knowledge management. And the more we dig into it, we found out knowledge is not in our head, it's in the intermingle of practice. And that's how we shift the gear towards practice theory to articulate what we're doing in our practice and it advanced our knowledge on how we can help clients change their practice and improve them in a micro as well as a meso level.
Mm. Mm. So my next question, and I think you already touched somewhat on it, would be
Hmm.
what attracted you to practice theory? Perhaps you can expand a bit.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, I, as I explained, it was fascinating as our interest, but also it's very useful as a practitioner's perspective because the unit of analysis is on practice, and that overlaps with our language because day to day we talk about and think about practice. And so I think it's very directly applicable to our day-to-day practice. For example, I also study Lumen, but Lumen, it takes so much time to explain to people. and start understanding how our day-to-day experiences communication. But then practice theory is very, yeah, speaks directly to our practice, and it's also empirical and it's dynamic. And so I really like how it speaks to us as a practitioner.
Mhm. Okay, and then my last question, or Rigola's last question, would be, what ideas are you working with?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Um, these days, I'm working more towards open source software um, for many reasons. One is it has good empirical grounds. When we talk about projects, I didn't notice at first, but as I speak in conferences, like people are thinking about different projects, and it seems like I'm talking about project, but then people are talking about different project back to me. So I think having a good empirical grounds really is important. So that's why I started working on open source software. And second is many agile practice. Because I'm a project manager myself, agile is a big thing. It comes from open source practices, namely from white hackers back then, and how hackers works very in their practices and how it evolves into how it is right now. It really inspires me how we can have a similar transition and what kind of material and infrastructure we need to make our collaboration more open in non-software environments. Yeah, that's what I'm working on right now.
Great. So you can tell from the hat that I'm an anthropologist, and I'm going to ask you questions about tribes and things like that. But first, I want to push a bit further on the macro and the micro.
Mhm.
How do you understand that, and how do you understand the connection between that and practice theory?
Thank you. That's a very good question. Um, so I see myself as a practitioner in the meso level. People, but um, as I spoke about Lumen, Lumen talks about a very macro level. Well, he talks about, yeah, it's very interconnected, the micro and macro in that sense. But I think when we talk about open source software as a global scale movement, uh, I see Lumen's perspective as a macro. On the other side, I'm also interested in um, improvisation, which is the practices that are not stable enough to be seen as practice. And I think in project, those are also important. So I do have these three layers that you talked, the macro level and micro level, as well as meso level. Did I answer your question?
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of debate about that. What
Yeah.
are they levels of, and does practice theory have a flat ontology or not, which has no layers in it, and so on. But let's leave it there. And let me ask you the next question, which is, you're in kind of management, you're definitely in Tokyo. Are you
Yeah.
part of a group of people working with practice theory, or are you on your own?
Uh, I feel I'm more on my own than being part of a big cohort because, yeah, I feel like many researchers and a practitioner who shares this lingo is in Europe right now. But yeah, that's how I see. I think my because I'm an advocate, my company shares large part of my language as a practice theorist. But yeah, yeah. So that's why these kind of networks really have a big meaning on me. Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Anyway, we've visited you briefly in Tokyo. Do you have a gift for us? Do you have a souvenir to remember our trip? And can we put it on the website?
Yeah, I do. Should I share my screen?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Let me share. Can you see my screen right now?
I can.
Wow.
Yeah, this is my sweet this afternoon. It's called taiyaki,
Okay.
but it's yeah, I just imagine you might be hungry, so
I
I
think
brought
so.
some extra for you.
Great.
Yeah.
I
Great.
think that's great. I'm sure the rat will be very interested in it.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep it away from the rat.
Definitely.
I think we haven't got a lot of food on board now. We have some bread, I think, but this looks delicious. This looks delicious.
Good,
Okay,
sweet.
so where do you think we should go next? Have you got somebody else on the map that you would like us to visit?
Not individual specifically, but last month when I come back from Glasgow, I stopped by New Delhi as a transit. So maybe someone in India I'm interested to
Okay.
see. Yeah.
I think we might be a little empty on India, but we can have a look.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Well, thank you ever so much, and it's great to be in Tokyo today.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
you.
it was such a fun time.
Thank you.